Ready when you are.
Let's go. Hunter,
Happy Wednesday.
I know, man. Happy Hump Day, dude. We're halfway to Friday and beer time.
Yes, sir. How was your day, my friend?
Man, it was good. I mean, it was up and down, bro. You know, like logistics always is. I'm struggling like a son of a gun right now to cover this dang load out of Virginia going to Florida, dude. I was telling you about it earlier. It's. I mean, you know, I'm paying okay on it, not amazing because it's a contract deal that I had. They're a huge company, but it's basically, you know, they just ain't got a lot of capacity. So, but otherwise, man, you know, good. Made the rest of my calls for the furniture people and plant people from those conventions I went to. So yeah, making progress. What about yourself, good sir?
Dude, despite what we're about to talk about, it has been one of the busiest days since I've been here at Freight Mango. I probably had 10 plus quotes in the map. And it's funky, dude. You wonder why I don't start working until like 9 o'clock. I got off my sales call at like 1 p.m. and then boom, everybody starts flooding the gates. And that's a good problem to have. But yeah, been very, very busy today.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's always a good problem to have for the most part.
Absolutely.
So,
So
what do you? I think. What are you gonna talk about? The Panama Canal thing or something like that?
yeah. So Panama Canal today, discussing how that's going to be affecting and has been affecting the international market, which also 40% of all U.S. freight comes through the Panama Canal. So that affects truckers, brokers, traders, people like myself. It's a pretty nasty deal. So
Yeah,
so what
it
we're
is, man.
seeing here, I mean, dude, they've been talking about this since my birthday. I'm looking at this article right now saying as of April 24th, 2023, the lack of rainfall, the drought, is the reason for the delay at the canal, which doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. You're connected to an ocean. If global warming is the case, shouldn't the caps be melting and the ocean be rising? I think it's just I don't know. I don't have enough to say about it, but there are, you know, hundreds of ships waiting there, a lot of future booking ships. So what I'm reading right here, there are more than 100 ships waiting to transit, 48 of which are pre-booked, which that's the ghost bookings we're talking about, and then there's 75 without a booking. So you wonder why these.
What does that? What does that mean with the booking and without a booking? What does that mean, Hunter?
So pre-booked, that's what we were talking about before. So that's you know, when earlier this year ocean rates were lower than they've ever been before, pre-COVID rates. So a lot of these people had booked these vessels, this space in these vessel ships, these container ships, without even knowing. And then there's 75 without a booking, so they're just going in there hoping to get a booking. I guess. I mean, dude, I this is a very interesting topic. I mean, there's I'm gonna make myself sound dumb here, which is fine. I hope there's somebody in here that can absolutely roast me, but it's not a good thing, man. You know, we go back to either way. So we go back to let me find this, when the Suez Canal got blocked by the mega vessel, the what was it called? The Ever Given. Let me share this screen real quick. Oops.
Boy, the only thing that ship ever gave was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, dude, no lie, man. That sucked. And that's when really things started going to hell for everybody. So 4 months after this, they're trying to figure out what happened there. But where is this? All right. So when the Ever Given, one of the largest container ships ever built, dude, this is like a skyscraper, like the Sears Tower in Chicago. Got sideways in one of the busiest canals in the Middle East. $10 billion a day lost in trade. And that was for 6 days. That's $60 billion. So I looked it up. The average container ship holds upwards of, I want to say, like 24,000 TEUs, which is a 20 equivalent unit for a container. So most container ships are handling 40-foot containers, which that's 12,000 containers. So with the Panama Canal, they on average a day can handle 36 container ships through the canal. Now they've dropped it down to 32. What does that mean? Let's do the math here. So that's 12,000 times 6. Or let's see here. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Let's say 12,000 times 6. That's 72,000 containers a day that are just waiting in line. And dude, do you think these ports can handle once it starts flowing again? Do you think they can handle that capacity? Why do you think everything's getting bottlenecked? Look at what happened when Long Beach started getting congested.
I was just about to say that. I'm waiting.
It went to Oakland. It went to Oakland. What happened when Oakland got congested? It went to Houston when Houston got congested. But excuse my French, but when you got Savannah dredging and building new terminals, which amen to that, man. They got new berthing ports. Like it's all in motion. It's a blessing in disguise, I would say. But for the general, like, you know,
hey, can you remove your post so I can pull this up so they people see what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going, bro. Keep going.
But yeah, so like anything you handle, like the stuff I sent you today, there's containers that are coming in and shit's being overbooked, or the ports are just so congested that you agree to something that, I mean, it might not be so much for you if you're going, more inland OTR, but like someone like me who accepts, 3 containers, I'm doing the transloading, I'm setting up the truck, and then 2 days later, that booking's no good.
Yeah,
the product is stuck at the port.
I remember you talking to me about last week about when you had set up for 4 months and like the shit fell apart like the day before we're supposed to pick up.
Oh yeah, dude. Picked it up last minute. Hapag Lloyd. Shout out to you.
So
overbooked the container, overweight, overbooked. And this is rail. This is inland rail. And this
was it? Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, but the fact that the rail can't even like take this container and send it out to wherever it needs to go, like any like seaport, that's insane. That's insane to me. Like, there's a lot of work here, but I don't try to focus on it. It's all about doing your homework and making sure that you got your math right, because I'm not paying for the problems of the big dogs, which if any of y'all, Port Savannah slowed down driver release last week.
So
do you know who that is, Rob?
Yeah, here, I'll let you know, man. Anyway, man.
Try to keep up.
So what I was going to touch on is you're talking about the Port of Long Beach issue, man. And ironically, I was talking to that's Jason Williams there. I was talking to someone today on LinkedIn, man, and like the first person I saw that posted about this, like if you remember, I sent that link to you, said, dude, look, check this shit out. Anyway, me and the guy were talking, and I was like, man, tell me this is not the same, or you cannot see Long Beach happening all over again with this shit going on in the Panama Canal. Obviously Long Beach, dude, was because of COVID stuff, and everybody was buying so much, and it was just creating a problem there. But in my opinion, from what I know about maritime and the way that stuff works is, like you said, even just 4 ships a day not getting through the Panama Canal, accounts for well into the double-digit thousands of containers, full of freight that's not getting brought over here. And in that article, I also saw that the ships that are like the tanker ships and the ones carrying chemicals and other stuff that their weight is much longer. So it's not just also retail goods.
That's not necessarily my cup of tea there. I think we should be getting oil from the great US of A.
Well, I mean, it's not just oil, bro. We get like all kinds of chemicals and stuff from overseas that we can't produce.
Chemicals,
but
good old bulk shipments.
So either way, what I think is going to happen, man, is exactly what you said, and in reference to Long Beach. Once the canal is moving fully again and the weight gets back down, all of those ships are going to start flowing again, and it's going to cause an issue in the Gulf and on the Southern Atlantic, where we're talking about Houston and Mobile has a decent sized port, Miami, Savannah, all of those places.
Yeah.
It's going to cause a headache there, which it's just going to trickle down.
To Jason's point, like it's being seen, man. Like it's funky, dude. Because I keep up with the imports, and like there's like Long Beach saw record breaking TUs like pre-COVID times. There's like Savannah or Houston, like all these ports are seeing all this freight coming in. But it's not being seen by anybody. Like a lot of it's being handled by these freight forwarders overseas, or even here domestically, U.S. That's who I primarily work with. It's just easier. But like, when it comes to imports versus exports, which is the funkiest thing, dude. Exports in the U.S., the rates never change, but bi-weekly in the U.S. every 15th of the month and every 30th or 31st of the month, there will be a GRI, which is a general rate increase.
Not the first of the month. First, not that one.
The 15th and the first. Yeah, I mean, essentially, dude, like it's weird. Like it's you got these tariffs, you got these export taxes, whatever, import taxes. It's the ever changing game of like everybody versus the U.S. But when they buy from the U.S., we seem to be the only ones that stay really consistent with, hey, yeah, we have freight for you to send out. But I saw last week on the 14th, one of our guys at Freight Mango had quotes that were $2,000 cheaper than they were on the 15th. And then the next day, the GRI didn't necessarily apply. So like it's, coming back to the contract rates, like, dude, I had one customer that had a single 20-foot container from Shanghai to Long Beach paying $5,000. I looked it up and I put $1,000 margin on it and still saved them $3,000. Like, dude, it's nuts. Like anybody that signs a contract with steamship lines, if you're not doing multiple, like, dude, thousands of TEUs, hundreds of TEUs, not worth it. spot market's raining right now. I mean, it's really relative to LTL. Like, I don't run LTL. I mean, I do, but like the people I work with might have a better contract rate than I do because they run that lane consistently. So I can partner with them. And same thing with Ocean. So it's let's see here. It's getting one letter day. Sometimes
all I know is if this thing doesn't, ease up, brother, and I mean, which it says that it is, but if it doesn't continue to ease up, I can definitely see the trickle down effect on in the whole supply chain, man, the whole logistics chain. I mean, it's going to create that congestion at the ports. Once it starts getting flowing again, that's going to slow down with the freight coming off the ship, the product on those containers, getting to the warehouses they need to, and then eventually to the end consumer. So, I mean, yeah. I don't think.
Well, I mean, and it also like breaks down to like when this happens, and this bottleneck breaks, there's going to be a surplus of demand for drayage movements, which in that instance, boom, rates go right back up. And so the full supply chain scale is insanity. But Jason, to your point there, yeah, a load a day. Let's see here. Jason, who? I don't know who Jason works for. Let me check it out here.
I'm not sure, man.
Dude, if you need some Savannah work, Jason, I might be able to help you out. I got a quote today. Wish I would have known you sooner.
Oh. Yeah.
But Jason, it is competitive, though. It is competitive. Like, I mean, it's like Chicago. You go on drayage.com and there are 1,500 different suppliers. Who's the right one to work with? Yeah, dude. It's who do you know? Who you working with?
So I want to move on to if you're cool, I should say I want to. If you're cool, I want to talk about this India landing on the moon stuff, man, and tie that shit into logistics because I've got some numbers, about what it costs to do some of this stuff, man, and I think it's great. Dude, I know, right? How ironic is that we just admit that aliens exist, right? Like not too long ago, which nobody seems to give a shit. But and now, I mean, obviously India's been planning this for a while, but I mean, maybe they knew that we already admitted and just hadn't put it on the air yet. But the fact that someone is finally landing on the moon again. I mean, it wasn't a manned flight, but still, brother, looking up these numbers and shit, what it takes to get these things off the ground. And obviously the logistics involved in making something like this happen is just, it's humongous, man. It's crazy to think about. So basically, if y'all don't follow the news, anybody hasn't heard yet, India landed a spacecraft on the moon, and it is I believe it's the fourth nation to make it to the moon, which I think is a big deal because I guess you could shoot down all the moon landing conspiracists. You know what I mean? Like, what does India have to gain from fucking faking a moon landing? You know what I mean? So,
first moon dispatching service.
Dude, isn't that? I know, man. We were talking about that in the first show. When is space freight come along? So far, our competition is Elon Musk, as you were talking about. Because he technically delivered the first civilian.
Thinking about it, yeah, man. With SpaceX, the first true space logistician delivered goods to
we're gonna have to
space station.
We're gonna have to get with Elon and tell him, hey, man. Telling you what, I get you some good rates. Get you some good rates on that shit to the moon.
He seems like the guy. He'd be like down to talk about it.
He probably would. So anyway, India landing on the moon. I mean, really big deal. There's a lot of things going on in the space races, I guess you could say, man. They've honestly really never stopped. They've just kind of shrunken down, but. What I want to talk about is is the numbers and stuff that it takes to get to the moon. This is obviously based on a cost projection from NASA, but as you can see, we're talking $4.1 billion for a 4-person flight, so $1 billion per astronaut. And the thing that I want to show down here is just one of the deals. The food is $2,000 a day, you know, for someone going to the moon, you know, the short flight, however it is. So I think that's crazy, the cost associated with this stuff. But my point to all of that is, you know, logistics literally touches everything on and off our planet. You know, it took companies manufacturing this stuff, and it took, you know, drivers and maybe brokers, I don't know, you know, maybe drayage people, maybe international freight folks, getting all this stuff together and getting this over to you know, to where they needed to load the ship and stuff. And I will tell you, as someone that has, as a driver, delivered loads to cruise ships, dude, the system and the efficiency that I saw with those, I would assume is the same with this. But it is such an undertaking. I mean, these cruise ships, they would order, you know, umpteen trucks, and, you know, I mean, you'd show up and it would be a line of, you know, 12 reefer trucks and then a bunch of van trucks, and, you know, you'd have all kinds of things there unloading, you know, different products and stuff onto the cruise ship. So you know, that was a huge deal. And I can imagine how big it was to get all of this together, not just the food, you know, but you're talking
probably police escort, you know,
yeah. Definitely.
Those locations.
I'm sure all that stuff was high security, man. But, you know, I mean, you talk about the fuel as well. You know, I'm sure that India is probably manufacturing their own rocket fuel, you know, but I mean, all the other things, all the components and stuff, man. I mean, even America outsources things for their space program, you know what I mean, materials and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's exciting though, dude. I'm a nerd when it comes to space. When I was a kid, I loved it, man. So the fact that in our lifetime space freight could be a thing, it's pretty freaking cool.
I think it's cool too, man. I wouldn't say in our lifetime, but I would say it's definitely coming up, man. You know, with the space station, you know, that we have now, and then India landing on the moon, and there's still a push for a moon colony, not from the U.S., but there's other countries that are interested in, you know, I wouldn't say trying to colonize the moon, but, you know, put humans up there and see what kind of information and intelligence that we can gather from it about us being in space. And through that whole time, you know, again, we're all going to be playing a part in that logistics wise, you know, and I just think that's really cool. You know, reading about it this morning, I didn't think about the logistics to it, and literally,
even like just shipping parts for the aeronautical side of things, building the ships, the tires, that, you know, like, have you seen the big old platforms that move?
Oh yeah,
the rocket ships.
They have one at Johnson Space Center in Houston, and ironically, this just popped into my head. I'm gonna have to see if I can find pictures and show them next time. But the guy that I helped run a truck with, when we were running a hot shot, we picked up some stuff out of I think it was Iowa for SpaceX, and brought that shit here into Texas. And we had no idea what it was. The BOL, all it said was aerospace parts. It was crated. It was like steel banded with, I mean, like, dude, the bands were like 8 inches thick, man. It was fucking crazy. And our guy, my guy had to tarp it. The crate had no markings. And I mean, when he went to pick it up, this facility, there was someone from SpaceX there to watch the loading. And then when he got to where we took it to in Texas, he told me that it was harder to get there than it was a military base. Like, they confiscated his phone, his partner's phone. I mean, dude, it was like they searched his truck before and after he left. So really, really crazy.
I mean, dude, yeah, I've done stuff for like Resto Mod cars where people flew in from Europe to the warehouse just to load it in the container themselves, and then flew back just to receive it. So I mean, shit, we're talking about rocket ships here. That's a whole nother ball game, man.
It is, man. I agree. It's pretty fascinating stuff, man. It really is. You know, I'm into the space stuff too. And Jason, I'm just gonna say this. Jason's one of the guys I was telling you about earlier, Hunter, that, he's going to advertise with us and come on as a show as a sponsor and talk about the things that he does. Jason, sorry I did not call you today, man. Hunter will tell you he called me at 5:40 something, and I was still working, and I ate dinner at my desk, so I didn't forget about you, bro. I promise. But anyway, man. So yeah, I saw that this morning, man. I thought it was cool just reading about India landing on the moon, and like I said, halfway through the day, it just hit me about the logistics that must go into something like that, and the people, even when it comes to the people that are involved in that. Like, I'm sure most of them are from India. I mean, India's got some of the smartest human beings on the planet, but obviously they had to have other people that were specialized in other things flown in, and so again, I just think it's pretty damn cool, man, to think that what we do, the industry that we're in, literally has a footprint, on and off this planet. And like you said, it is inevitable that it's going to continue to be off this planet. I mean, it sounds crazy, but all of those space shows, man, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of that stuff, dude, like that stuff is going to happen, man.
It's gonna happen.
It so freaking is, because humans have destroyed this planet. There's no coming back from it. I don't care what you do with electric cars and all this other bullshit. That all the studies have shown, we are past the point of no return, and this planet cannot continue to support the amount of people on it. So we're going to have to branch out, man. We're going to have to go. And it's going to be pretty badass to have your title as like international logistician, or intergalactic.
Intergalactic.
Like,
Intergalactic.
That is going to be
account executive.
Yes, pretty cool shit right there, man. I am all about it, dude. So, yeah, man, that's really all I got, dude. I mean,
that's all I got today, man. I'm kind of whooped, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's how much I wanted to touch on. You know what I mean? I'm trying to save stuff up for the Friday show, which will have Dylan Botich. He works for my company, man. He has been in the broker industry for several years, 4 or 5 years. He came from a really big company, and he's come over here to us and been with us since day one. And dude's just amazing, man. I mean, him and I know him personally outside of work. Him and his wife, they're fucking amazing people. And he handles a lot of our LTL and our customer success here. So yeah, he's a broker. He knows how to broker, but that's not his day to day. And so I'm going to bring him on the show, man, and let him talk about the behind the scenes stuff that brokers do, like the things that we try to offer customers, and the type of service level that we try to supply to shippers and to carriers as well. Like, we have a carrier success team too. They make sure that carriers are taken care of with, detention and all that shit. And our shippers, it's just on the opposite side. We make sure that we provide them consistently with updates and make sure that accounting stuff is right for them and so forth and so on. So it's going to be really, really cool to have him on, dude. He's really,
right on, man.
God, man.
I think Chad should be hopping on Friday too. I'm making the show. I'm moving, but I'm hopping on.
I'll tell you, Chad, you better next time you post a picture of your yard, that shit better be in a different pattern. Did you see me talking shit on his post, Hunter?
I read it. I didn't.
Bro, he mowed his grass, and I love that he takes pride in it and cuts like a pattern in it. And I told him, I was like, dude, you have to cut it in a different pattern each time. That if you cut it in the same pattern, like your grass will learn how to grow a certain way, and it won't be as plush and all that shit. And then I commented and I was like, and for the love of fucking God, get an edger, because like his yard was so nice and green, Hunter, and he had this.
Oh, you didn't get the edges?
Oh, dude, his driveway had all this overgrown grass, and I was like, oh my fucking God, Chad, like, dude. Anyway, I like Chad, man. I do. Him and I connect. Yeah, well, dude, he's a cool guy, man. So
yeah, we'll have to bombard him if he doesn't watch it. If he doesn't watch the show today, he'll have to have a rude awakening from you. The lawn segment.
Yeah, isn't that the fucking truth, man? I'm telling you, bro. So anyway, man. I mean, if you want to chat about something else, we can do. Like I said, I was just trying to do a short show today anyway. I mean, we went for an hour yesterday, and I know that we're going to go for probably fucking 2 hours on Friday like we normally do. So
Damn straight.
We will catch all of you guys on Friday at 7:30. Sorry, it was a short show, not super eventful. Could have talked about some other things, but Hunter and I had really busy day today, so we just wanted to touch on a couple light topics and talk about some things that maybe you don't know about. That Panama Canal, really big deal. It really is. If you didn't tune in for the first part, make sure that you go and you read about the Panama Canal. If you're a carrier, a freight broker, if you're like Hunter here and you deal with drayage and maritime and stuff, man, it's really important shit. And go check out the stuff on the India landing on the moon, man. I mean, pretty cool stuff. I think some of the pictures that they put up are fucking amazing, and you gotta think it's not none of that 1969 shit that we had with 2 megapixel cameras. Like it's good digital photography, man, and it's pretty cool stuff. And go dig deep into, like I said, some of the cost and logistics to go into that stuff, and give yourself a sense of pride, I say, in working in an industry that, as I said a couple times, like we literally have a footprint outside of our fucking off our planet, man. I think that's pretty badass shit, dude. So Hunter, you have a good one, and we'll see you in your new apartment on Friday, won't we?
The Woodfin Lounge coming in hot.
Woodfin Lounge. I'm gonna think of a name for that for your shit. The Woodfin Lounge. Yeah,
Logistics Lounge, Nashville.
The Nashville location. Yeah. And that's fucking funny, bro. Anyway, homie, I'll talk to you later, dude. Me and you will talk mañana, but I will see you on Friday. I will have a 6-pack of cold Texas beer sitting here at my desk. And man, we're just gonna chop it up with Dylan, talk shit, and have a good fucking time, because that's what we do. That's what we do. Everybody, y'all have a good night. And if you watch today or if you watch it later, we appreciate you tuning in as always and being as loyal as you can. Jason, Honey, we really appreciate you guys chiming in, throwing us some little comments and everything. Jason, I will get with you tomorrow, and you and I will chit chat, and we'll set up a time for you to come on the show next week, and or the week after. I'd have to look at who all we have coming on. I know Tuesday we have another sponsor that's coming on, a guy who does a factoring company and from the banking industry. That's going to be big shit, Hunter. That's going to be a big one on Tuesday. Anyway, y'all have a good one. We appreciate y'all tuning in, and as I always say, chunk the deuces.